Hello everyone, it's Amy, and welcome back to week 45 of Build Your Stash and Craft. Today we're going to make altered dominoes. Now you can use your altered dominoes for pendants, you can use them for magnets on your fridge, you can use them, these are so tiny you could put them on the front of an embellished card or on any of your projects on the front of a book. Or if you know somebody has a drill, you could even maybe drill a hole in it and hang it from as a charm on something. And I am going to show you how to hang them. So without having to drill a hole. But I just grabbed some different things out to try on our dominoes. And one of the easiest ways to do it is to take a picture and put that on your domino. And you can just glue it with Mod Podge. I like to kind of put it on there before I put the Mod Podge on, excuse me, to see if I like the placement and the picture itself. I think he looks really cute, and I do want to put him on there. So I'm just going to put him on with, I don't have much, I don't remember what we bought this for. I don't have much of my Mod Podge left. And you can do either side. You can, when you're, well, that wasn't very smart. When you're covering it up with paper, you can cover the side with the numbers on it, and then you don't even have to worry about those showing up on the back. I just want to scooch this up a little bit because I want enough to wrap around my edges. Okay, and then put it on this side. There we go. Okay, now I'm not going to wrap it all the way around the back. I don't see a purpose in getting it on the back, depending on what you're going to use it for. Maybe if you were going to make jewelry, you would want to make sure it goes to the back, but we're going to put our hanger on the back. I'm going to trim this right along the edge. And that one I did line up really well. I'm going to trim this just about so it's big enough to cover my domino, and then just kind of cut at an angle. Just kind of cut that corner off on both corners. Just kind of like that, so that it's easier to fold up. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to fold in the side that we've already glued down on both sides. Just fold that in, kind of like wrapping a package a little bit, and then just fold this one up. And I don't like how far that one go. So I have a little bit of white showing there, so I can always cover that up with a little bit of paper later. I don't like the way that that worked, so let's try on this side. Let's try something different. Again, I'm going to cut off about enough to cover that. And then I'm just going to cut, I'm going to cut from the corner of the paper, into the corner of the domino. Like that, on an angle. Then I can just wrap this one around. Bring those two sides in. And then I can bring this one over. And then trim what I want to trim here without showing the white domino. So now I can trim this off on both sides, and then go ahead and use your Mod Podge to blend that together. There we go. Oh, I think he's cute. And I think he would make a really cute fridge magnet. He would be cute on a little sunshine project. get well soon, that you're going to send somebody. Send them a little bit of sunshine. And that's how easy it is to just cover them with paper. My favorite thing to do with them is alcohol inks. So let's do a little bit of purple with a dab of blue. Just get my dauber out here. So now, unless my dauber gets really, really hard, if I'm using the same colors, I use them over again. I don't like throw them away when I'm done until I just feel like they're not working. Okay, I have a little tiny drip of blue on there, which is exactly what you want, is a tiny, tiny amount. Because we are in a tiny purple. I'm going to shut these. Remember when you shut them to kind of hold something in front of them so that they don't splash, because they do seem sometimes to splash a little bit. And we're just going to take our domino. And isn't that cool? I don't know how well it's showing up on how well you can see it, but it is gorgeous. Do your sides, you can even do your back. And then to give it a little bit more interest, you can come in with a touch of alcohol. And remember, if you get alcohol ink all over your fingers, whoops, that when you're done, you can use your rubbing alcohol to wipe that off, and it does a pretty good job. I still have a piece of paper in there. And then you just decide. If you love it, do not touch it with alcohol, because that will totally change the look. But I love to just do the alcohol. I really still need to get this in my dropper bottle. No, there's way too much on there. I'm going to just take a clean felt. It was clean till I touched it. I'm going to take this clean felt and just kind of soak up a little bit of that. I really don't want that much alcohol on my rag. I'll show you how this is looking. When you touch it with the alcohol, it makes the different colors move. Okay, and then I didn't get the side super great, but I don't want to touch the top till it's fully dry. And you can heat set it with your heat gun too. I've heard that like makes it even better. I've never really done that, I don't believe. But I just love the way that that this looks on here. So, and I've got some other pictures. You can use some of your own homemade paper and glue that on there and then doodle on it. And I know it seems like, well, that's really small, but a really tiny doodle on there would be really pretty. So, and also what I wanted to do is we've got the our clear tape stickers that we made out of magazine pictures and things like that. And you can put one of these on here. Got this little girl, cowgirl. And doesn't that look cute on there? You could put those on there. And I would put Mod Podge underneath before I stuck them on, just to make sure that they stick well. I want to try this little owl face and see what it looks like. I just love this one. I think that's really cool. And actually, I'm going to put that one on there. For now, actually, I am going to leave that one on there because it doesn't want to come off. So I'm going to peel the sides back a little bit, and I'm going to put some Mod Podge down the sides to hopefully like help it stick better. And I'm going to stick it on the bottom just for now. Or I guess I could leave it there anyways, because it doesn't want to stick where that Mod Podge is now that the Mod Podge is wet, and this is actually a sticker. but I have Mod Podge down the side now, and that will dry and hold it. And I'm gonna do that again here, but I'm glad I had that little bit extra. To fold over the top to hold it while it's drying. Yep, not that one. There we go. So those are some of the things that you can do. You can use your homemade stickers. You can use store-bought stickers. You can use magazine pictures. You can use your alcohol inks and then decorate that up and put some things on it. We could put some stuff around the side. And I will be back in just a few minutes to show you how to hang them. And I'll maybe fix these up just a little bit and show you how far I've got. So back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back, and what I've done is I doodled on this one and just wrote the word joy. This is my homemade painted papers, and then I have 2 coats of nail polish. I got it a little heavy here to start with. Remember, 1 quick thin coat of nail polish. Let it dry, and then anything that you have under there that might smear, you can put on a nice heavy coat, and because you've already sealed it with that first quick thin coat, 1 stripe over thin, just to make sure you get it covered and sealed, and then you can put on as many layers as you want and make it beautifully shiny like that. So this one I glued a piece of paper to, and I thought this picture was very, not shabby chic, but vintage. And so I just glued it on there, and this I glued with my clear nail polish. Just put clear nail polish on my domino and pressed my picture on top. When it dried, I trimmed around it because I want to edge that with something else. Here's what the blue looks like completely dried. I just love that. Haven't decided exactly what I want to do with that one yet. I also did one in green and yellow and one in orange and red. And this one I did the back, this one I didn't. So, but this orange and red one, I have this sticker that I had made, and I really like the way that this looks. So that's why you grab out all your things, but I thought that this looked really pretty on there like that. I don't know if you can see it as well as I can. I do need to move it over. But I'm going to line that up with the edge so I don't have to cut the top. There. And then I am just going to cut around this and just have the sticker on the top portion. And normally what I do is just cut the straight lines and then go in afterwards. Oops, sticker. There we go. And then just go in afterwards and just round the corners like this. Ah. And there we go. And I really like that one. I just think that one is gorgeous. Of course, it's in my colors. So this little guy, I put glitter nail polish all over the whole thing. Really didn't like it over his face. So before it dried, I just really quick wiped it off and kept wiping it off and wiping it on my paper. And then I put clear nail polish on his face because the glitter nail polish just covered him up too much, but I thought he looks cute. Now, he could use another coat of completely the clear nail polish because this just has the original coat on it. And then we just have our little owl here. I'm not sure what I'm doing with him because I really love him and I want to do something special with him. Now, with the one that I did here, I have my brown and my copper Sharpies that we got the other week when we were doing the alcohol inks. And see, because these are permanent ink and this is a slick surface, these will cover this really nicely. You can just go all the way around. And the other thing that you can do if you have Sharpies is you can color it with Sharpies and touch it with your alcohol, and it will make them blend and bleed and do all sorts of things. So that's kind of fun to play with your permanent markers. And they don't have to be Sharpie permanent markers, just any permanent marker to make that happen. But this actually, like, just doing this really changes the look of this domino. And of course, I love brown, so I think that this is really, really pretty. I love the looks of this on here. This is a very warm brown. And so you just go all the way around like that. And then you can go around. I got out the copper to go around the picture itself at the edge, because I thought that that would be pretty. So I can just take this and go around the edge. But the one thing that I want to show you before we get too far into this right here, before I run out of time, is I want to show you how you can make a hanger for them. So we're just going to take a piece. I should have opened these up. Just take a piece of our wire, and we're going to cut it a bit longer than, there we go, longer than our domino. Hopefully that's long enough. And then we're just going to, at the top, we're going to make a loop. So we'll just fold that back. And then we'll take our, I really didn't make this fold long enough. Okay, we're going to do this again because I'm just going to, I'll use that one later. Because you can fiddle. See, that's why you're supposed to hold on to your wire, because it'll go flying. So I'll be able to fiddle with that one and make it do what I want it to do, but right this second, I don't want to take all that time. So, okay, we're going to fold it at a 90-degree angle, put our circle pliers on here, round nose, and then we're going to turn it to the top and finish pulling this over, and then we are going to wrap this around. Now I think I just want to do like maybe 2 wraps, even 1 would be fine, because I don't want a whole bunch of bulk at the top of my domino. So I went around once, and I think I'm going to call that good. Get a hold of it in the right spot. There we go. Cut that off. Oh, and the one thing I was saying the other day, and I never did finish, was the nice thing about the pliers that came with this beading kit is that they're smooth on the inside. They don't have ridges. The ones you get like at the hardware store that are the needle nose pliers, they have ridges inside, and that marks up your, it marks up your wire. That's Papa. I'm just going to finish making that go around. And you'll make yours nice and neat. So there we go. And I've just bent that all up too. Let me straighten this back out before I go any further. Get there. Okay, so now we've got our loop at the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my domino. Let's say this one. I'm going to put my domino right there. And it's going to come out right at this point. So I'm just going to kind of hold that point right there. So I know that that's where I want to go to, is to that point. Now I've got too much wire here, so I'm going to nip it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little spiral at the end. So I'm going to start by rolling my pliers until I get my first circle. Then I'm going to take my flat pliers, and I'm going to turn it this way so I can push away from me. I'm going to grab onto this right next to, just right at the very edge of that circle. I'm holding the whole, like right where I want this to start to turn around, right at the very edge. And I'm going to just turn it a little bit and then come over and grab a hold. And again, right where I want the wire to bend, that's where I'm grabbing a hold of it. And then I'm just pushing the wire towards it. Again, right where I want to bend it. And just hold it. This just keeps your spiral. And this is a tight spiral. It's not a loose spiral. This keeps your wire all in line with itself. And let me see. just a little bit further. Like that. Okay, now when you attach this to your domino, you will have a place to hang it. And I made my spiral go too far. So now the thing that you can do with this, now, okay, if you leave your circle this way and you put a jump ring in it, if you leave it this way, you can just put your necklace right through it. If you put it this way where the circle shows, then you'd have to put a jump ring through it if you want to put it on a necklace. See, if you put it this way, and then you put a chain right through it, your necklace would constantly turn. So you'd have to have a jump ring going around, and then the necklace would go through it sideways like that. If you don't want to use a jump ring, then all you have to do is make sure that when you put this on, you put it so that your loop goes this way. Your circle is going like that, and then your chain will go right through it, and this will still hang straight. Now, if you don't want to have this hanging out at the bottom, what you can do, since I've already made it too short anyways, is I'm going to just continue just a little bit further to make sure it doesn't stick out my bottom. And I do want my loop to go sideways like that because I want a chain to go through it. And then what you do is you just glue it on just like this. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to use your super glue, not any regular glue because you want it to hold tight. You're going to use your super glue and then put just a little bit of either a piece of paper on the back or a piece of felt, and that will just cover it up and finish it off. So you put that on there. Make sure that you have, because you're not going to see this anyways. The reason I did the loop, even when you're doing it like this, I do a loop, because what happens is that loop just gives the glue extra to hold on to instead of just a little tiny piece of wire. So the biggest thing you want to do is make sure that you, when you're doing it like this, get your hoop at the top in the middle and make sure that it's the way that you want it to be. And so I'm going to do like that, and I'm going to cut a piece of felt and stick it on there real quickie before the, oh, here, I have some felt right here from our alcohol inks. So I don't want to have to trim it, but I'm going to, because I have to go see what, well, I know what Papa wants. He's ready to get up and get his socks on and get his breakfast. So I'm going to put that on there like that. Now, I actually should have had the glue over the whole thing. I only put the glue here as I was getting in a hurry. So after this dries, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put some glue all the way around and trim that off. And so there we go. Now it can hang like a pendant. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, Papa's all settled back in. So I did make another one like I was showing you, but it was long enough so that it would hang out the bottom. And then I just put that on the back with a piece of the same paper that I put on the front of the domino. And what I will do is I will go in and I will color this green either with some alcohol inks or some paint, or even I have some nail polish that's green. But just to finish off the back, in case I hang this on something and it turns over, that the back will look nice. But so that's how that one turned out. And on the back of the sun, which I just think he's very cute, I put a magnet so we can use them for magnets. I finished off this one, the one that we started with, that I made too short, and I just put some of the copper marker around the edges, a little bit of lace, a sequin off of my roll of sequins, and one of the little silver bits off of our roll like this. So those are all done. And these ones I have not done anything more with. I added the faith to the green, and the blue one I'm going to leave until I decide what project I want to put it on. And this one I like the way it is, so I'm just leaving that one the way that it is. And on the green one I also went around the edge with the copper marker, or bronze, or whatever. What do they call it? They call it bronze metallic that we got when we bought our Sharpie markers. My little owl, I put some lace around the edges each side and did each end in the bronze, and then I just kind of colored the back in case it flips around. And on that one I am going to put, I want a ring at the top and a ring at the bottom. So I've already done the ring at the top, and I wanted to show you I want a ring at the bottom. So you are going to have this flat and make a 90-degree bend like this. So that way when you curl it, both of the circles will, whoops, wrong one. Well, where's the right, here's the right pliers. So that the circles will actually both be facing flat this way. So I'm just going to put my pliers in there, my round nose pliers, and go all the way around. And then just give that a couple of curls. And the more curls that you put on it, the longer that your kind of like stem under your circle will be. So sometimes you can hide that. Sometimes it looks nice having a lot. Get that back on there. And but for something like this where it's going to show, I just like to have just a couple of circles. There we go. And then I'll cut that. See, and now both of the circles are going the same way. And I'm going to nip this off. Put my pliers back in there. And then just finish bending that little last bit around. I bent my wire a little bit. There we go. And there we go. So now they're both that way. I'm going to leave I'm going to put the larger one on the bottom and the smaller one on the top so that I can put a chain or something through the top one. And the way that's going, you'll have to have a jump ring. I want to make sure that it's straight so that they're straight up and down from each other. And then I'm just going to take just a little piece of felt. Actually, I think I'm going to put some lace on the bottom of this. This is just the lace that I bought from the Dollar Tree the other day. It's wider than my Dominoes, so I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. Because I don't want it sticking over the edges. And then I just kind of want to figure out how long I need to be. That should fit well. Whoops. Oh. Get that glue off of there right away. And then I'm just going to put some of our heavy duty glue because we're gluing metal to a smooth surface. So your Mod Podge, your regular Elmer's glue, those types of glues will not hold these together. It would hold on to the lace here, but it would not hold on to the metal and the domino because they're slick. Okay. Turn this the way I want it. Make sure that it's in the position that I want it. Up and down. Just push that down a little bit. With the lace, it's kind of going to want to come through the lace and grab my finger, so I have to be careful about that. Put that back where it is and then set that aside to dry. Now, there was one other thing that I was thinking. Okay, this was one I was playing with the other day to remind me to show you this, but if you have double circles like this, even though this one is kind of, let's see, which pliers do I want? Let's try this one. This one's not very good. Let me see if I can clean it up a little bit. But you can have two circles like this, and if you want to attach your domino to a book or a page, but you don't want it hanging, you want it attached firmly, what you can do is have your circles. one's going to be bigger than the other. That's just the way it's going to be. Okay, and you want them to stick out past your domino. I'm going to just kind of put a little kink in it just to make it flare out that way. I need to unwind this one a little bit more. Straighten it out. And if you want, sorry about that, it was a telemarketer. So I was just saying about the wires. When you watch other videos where people get them perfect the first time, it's because it's something that they do all the time. They're used to it and they've gotten the knack of it. So if you do it and it doesn't turn out, mine are not perfect by all means, but they're better than they were when I started. So don't get discouraged with yourself if they don't turn out perfect, because, you know, it just takes practice. Practice makes perfect. And that's just what you have to remember. So don't worry about it if you don't get it perfect the first time. Now I need to attach this to the back of my, I just want something to hold the glue on, because I'm going to put this on a page or a book, so it really doesn't matter to me what I'm putting on here. But I just wanted to show you an idea that I just had when I was looking at these double circles, because I think it'd be a good way, instead of just hanging it where it could flip around, to hook it on solidly. So we're just going to put this on here. And then just put some paper on it. Just like that. And have it be flat. Okay, I'm going to let this dry really quick for a minute. And I've just put it on like, oops, like this. And I'm going to let this dry for just a second, and I'm going to go grab a book and show you what I'm thinking. Okay, so I grabbed my Build Your Stash book, and I'm going to put this right up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it where I want it. Let's say right there. And just put a little mark, if my pen would work, and then just hold it there and put a mark inside the other swirl too. I apologize for my hand being in the way. I just didn't want it to move. There. Okay, so now I've put a mark right here in this swirl and a mark right there in that swirl. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pokey tool, and I'm going to put a hole right where those marks are. Make sure I keep my fingers out of the way. And this is a cake box, so it's kind of heavy. And then I'm going to go next bigger pokey tool. And the biggest pokey tool. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two of our brads, and we could leave them gold. We can color them. Do I want to see what? I kind of like them gold, but you can color them with your permanent markers. You can color them with your alcohol inks. You can color them with your nail polish, with whatever you would like to. And then I'm just going to put right through the little hole in the center of our ring. Just put that in there. First I'm going to line it up with my holes. And just put it through like this. This one in front of this hole. And put that one through like that. So this is a way that you can put it on a book or on a page without gluing it directly, and also without making it a dangle. It's on there solid, and that's what it looks like, and it's not going anywhere. So, and you would just want to do that before you decorated the page behind it, and you would just cover those up with some paper or with something else. But that is how, because it's still not dry, I can adjust it just a little bit because it was off to one side. But there we go. I think that that's a really cool idea too on how to attach things, on how to attach them without having them be a dangle, because all of these, you'd put something through there and it would be a dangle. So, and here's my little owl. I just love him. He's my favorite. This one I'm going to put some dangles on, like I did just last week or the week before when I showed the boho beads. I'm going to put some of those silver dangles on the bottom of this one, and I'm going to hang this one up because I really love him. But so that's how you can make double-ended, and you could make just the top and have a swirl at the bottom. You can also just make your swirl at the back to give you some stability and just have the circle at the top. And then you can do whatever you'd like with these. You can make magnets. You can make them additions on books. So I really had fun making these. And I hope that you all enjoyed watching. I'll be back in just a second to show you what we need for next week. Okay, for next week, we are going to need our foam sheets that we bought when we made our foam stamps. And we are going to need our hot glue gun. And the only thing we'll need to buy for this week is a 2-pack of tea lights. I can't find my 2-pack, but the battery operated ones, not the kind that you like, but we need a pack of battery operated tea lights. So that's what we will need for next week. We'll need to purchase the tea lights from the dollar store for $1. And I don't have my book in front of me for the bank, but that will leave us $4 to add to our bank. So I hope that you enjoyed making the dominoes this week, or seeing how you could make the dominoes this week. I really enjoyed doing them, and I enjoyed the different ways that, you know, like came to mind to you could use it this way or that way. And that's the fun thing about crafting, is that you start something and then all of a sudden so many different things pop into your head, and that's what makes it really fun. So thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate your support, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.